talk for a second. So is it showing this recording now? Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about how to recharge your automotive air conditioner. And so we want to cover some basics on how an automotive air conditioner works. We're going to discuss some basics as to the difference between pressure, atmospheric pressure, pressure in the system, and vacuum. And then we're going to describe the process for putting the refrigerant back into your system. So just to refamiliarize everybody with how the air conditioner works, we have a compressor that's going to circulate refrigerant through a sealed system. We're going to take the evaporator inside the car is going to get cold. We're going to take the heat from inside the car and transfer it into the evaporator where it's going to be absorbed into the refrigerant. And then we're going to, the compressor is going to circulate that freon, the refrigerant, out to the front of the car. Now we're on the outside of the car, and we're going to give up that heat to the atmosphere. And we're just going to continue to duplicate that process. So the heat from inside the car gets absorbed into the evaporators inside this box. Then we're going to move that refrigerant up to the front of the car, which is now on the outside of the car, and give it up to the atmosphere. Okay. The system is filled with a pressurized gas. Okay. So we're going to use an example here to talk a little bit about pressure and vacuum. So we have a little sample here of a bottle with a glove. It's kind of a basic example, but it works. So we would say that the pressure on the outside of this bottle is the same as the pressure on the inside of the bottle. Okay, we've got our glove here, which I'll blow up in a second. So the pressure inside and outside is the same. Okay. Inside our air conditioner, though, we have, it's pressurized, so it's going to look like our glove. Okay, so you can say hi. So inside our system right now, we have a pressurized gas. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take the gas out of the system, if there's still refrigerant in the system that you're working on, and we want to capture it into a container. Then after we have the gas out, okay, once we take the gas out of the car and put it into a container, then our system will be neutral, and that it will have the same pressure inside the system as outside the system. But in order for us to get any moisture out of the system and prepare the system for a charge, we want to put it under a vacuum. So then we would have a negative pressure, where now the pressure on the inside of the jar is less than the pressure on the outside of the jar. We need to get our system in that same in the same way. So we're going to talk about a three-step process. We have recovery, which is going to be where we're going to take the refrigerant out of the car and just transfer it into our recycling container. Okay, that would put the system at neutral. Okay, then we would do, at that point, we would do whatever repairs we want to do. Then the next step would be evacuation, which is going to be putting the system under vacuum. And we can do that using a recycling machine, or you can make your own recycler. This is a device that you can get from Harbor Freight, sells these for about $10. You're going to connect shop air to it, and then it's going to draw vacuum on the other side. All right. Or you can get a more expensive vacuum pump. Okay, which these are a couple $100 here. This has an electric motor, and we would connect our manifold gauge set to either of these. Okay, with our yellow line, our service line. The yellow line would be the service line or gauge set. Either one of these, whichever one you want to use. This is the vacuum pump is automatically built into a recycling station. Let's see. I won't get into too much detail, I guess, on the recycling machine. But this particular unit is going to safely recover, our first step, recovery, the Freon. If there's refrigerant in the system, we need to put it in a sealed container so that we're not venting it to the atmosphere. So if you have pressure in your system that you're working on, you need to get it to a place that has a machine. If there's no pressure in your system, then you could use either of these two methods here. We're using the vacuum pump, the electric vacuum pump, or an air-operated vacuum pump. Okay. So once we've gotten the refrigerant out, we would then, step 2 would be to pull a vacuum on the system. Then our next step would be to charge the system. There's a couple ways we can do that. We can work with, we can do that in the recycling machine. Okay, we can program in, and it's set up with the tank that it can put in a charge that way. Okay, or we can use a manifold gauge set, right? Where after we've vacuumed down the system, okay, then the next step is we would connect the yellow service line to a tank of refrigerant. Okay, and we could draw in our charge that way. Okay, you would have the red and yellow would be connected to the, or I'm sorry, the red and blue would be connected to the car, and the yellow is connected to your tank. Okay. Or we can use the single shot cans that you would get from Walmart or Pep Boys. This one here is a 12-ounce can, and on your air conditioning system it'll have on the, there'll be an under hood label that'll tell you how much refrigerant your system takes. And then you would connect this, the can would connect to the low side system. And that's about as much detail as we'll cover for now. And thank you for watching. And that's it.